Okay, so let's go to our lesson for today. And we are now on, after file services, we have organizational unit. So let's go to organizational unit. Okay, so I have here a slide, so let's study this slide. Managing organizational units and active directory accounts. But before that, let me have my marker first. Okay, let me open my marker. Okay, submit. Okay, so let us begin. Okay, so objectives: work with organizational units, manage user accounts, manage group accounts, work with computer accounts, and automate account management. Okay, so benefits of using organizational units. So what are the benefits? So number one, you can create familiar hierarchical structures based on an organizational chart to allow easy resource access. So using organizational unit, magagawa natin yung mga files natin na naka hierarchy structure, no, parang sa Windows Explorer. It's like the file services, hierarchical. And then delegation of administrative authority. So dito po sa organizational unit, nagkakaroon ng mga admin at saka yung guest or user natin. So pagka-delegate kasi yung admin at pag-delegate kasi yung ang users or guests. Third, able to change organizational unit structure easily. So whenever we want to change yung organizational unit structure natin, we can do so using, of course, organizational units. And then you can group users and computers for the purposes of assigning administrative and security policies. So for security and administrative tasks, we can group yung mga workstations natin, okay, na naka sa network natin with organizational unit. Let us say PC1 to PC4 will be, let us say, the computer for distribution accounting. PC5 to PC8 will be the computer for the budgeting. And then let us say PC9 to 12, that will be the computer for the credit department. Okay, and then we have able to hide ED objects for confidentiality or security reason. Okay, so sa organization units, you can treat files as an object, okay, like AD objects. Okay, next. So ito yung hierarchical structure. Okay, we have single, and then we have multi-level, partition tree. Okay, just like kung sinabi ko sa Windows Explorer natin. Next, we have OU Delegation of Control. Ito yung paglalagay ng mga admin sa mga users natin. Gagawin natin silang admin. So let us read. Delegation Control. Person with higher security privileges assigns authority to a person of lesser security privileges to perform a certain task. So ito yung admin, you can create users or guests. Yung admin, you can also create another admin just like yung privileges na sa kanya or yung kanyang capabilities. And then commonly delegated tasks include ano mga delegation tasks na yan? Create, delete, and manage user accounts. Okay, yan, create ng user account, pag-delete ng user account, kapag manage nung user account. Yan yung delegation task. And then second delegation task, reset user passwords enforce password change at next log on. So we can change yung password. Of course, the change of passwords. Third, read all user information. So we can access all user accounts so that we can see the different information of that user. Then create, delete, and manage groups. So aside from user accounts, you can create groups in this delegation control, and then modify the membership of a group. Okay, so we can change the membership of the group into user or admin. Manage group policy links. Okay. Generate resultant set of policy for planning, and generate resultant set of policy for login. So yan yung mga delegated tasks, ano? Okay, common delegated tasks sa organizational unit. Next, custom tasks can be created for delegation as well, but you must fully understand the nature of objects, permissions, and permission inheritance. By default, the organizational unit properties don't show that another user has been delegated control. Instead, to verify who has been delegated control of an organizational unit, you must view the organizational unit's permissions. So, ayan, para makita yung kung anong control na meron ng isang user or PC. Okay, we must look at the organizational unit permissions. Okay, next, Active Directory object permissions. Speaking of permissions, there are three types of security principles can be assigned permission to an object. So ano yung mga permissions na yan sa object? First, yung users, then yung groups, and then computers. Okay, so users, yung groups, yung groups ng ng object, users ng object, at yung computers ng object. And then we have AD object security settings are composed of three components, collectively referred to as object security descriptor. We have the ACL or discretionary access control list, object owner, and SACL or system access control list. Okay, yan yung mga security settings. Itong tatlong ito, yan, you can see this in our video in setting up or configuring organizational unit sa Windows 2008 R2 server, and users, groups, and the computers. We will look at that in the next video, so we will be returning in this segment. Next, each object has a list of standard permissions and a list of special permission. Each permission can be set to allow or deny. Okay, do remember that in our video in organizational unit. And 5 standard permissions are available for most objects. So ano yung 5 permissions na yun? We have read, write, create all child objects, delete all child objects, and then full control. As far as I can remember to the video, I've seen read, write, and then full control. Okay, except for this two, read and then delete. Next, permission inheritance in organizational units. Permission inheritance defines how permissions are transmitted from a parent object to a child object. All objects in AD are child objects of the domain. By default, permissions applied to the parent organizational unit with the delegation control wizard are inherited by all child objects of that organizational unit. Okay. Effective permissions. Effective permissions for an object are a combination of the allowed and denied permissions assigned to a security principle. Can come from assignments made directly to a single user account or to a group the user belongs to. Explicit permissions override inherited permissions and can create some exceptions to the rule that deny permissions override allow permissions. So, dito sa permissions na to, it can come from user account or to a group. Kung saan the user belongs to. And take note dito sa deny permission and allow permission. Yung explicit permission can override inherited permission. So, ibig sabihin, the deny permission can override allow permission. So, ayan, may dalawang permission so far. Deny permission and allow permission. Ito yung chinchikan na checkbox dun sa video, natitingnan natin na organizational unit sa pagka-configure ng Windows 2000 server. Okay, next. Most common settings for permission inheritance. This object only. The permission setting is inherited by child objects. This object and all descendant objects. The permission setting applies to the current object and is inherited by all child objects. All descendant objects, the permission setting does not apply to the selected object but is inherited by all child objects. Descendant objects, the permission is inherited only by specific child object types such as user, computer, or group objects. Okay, so we have in group, user, computer. Just like ito, a while ago, yung user, group, and computer. Ito yun user, group, computers. So dito yung organization unit, parang dito lagi siya babagsak. Tapos yan, user, group, computers. Okay. So let's move forward. Okay. So, under effective permission pa rin, several permissions are added to an all-use DACL by default when it's created. To view which permissions are inherited and which has been added to a DACL by viewing the Advanced Security Settings dialog box. So, sa DACL, there will be an Advanced Security Settings dialog box. Permissions inheritance is enabled by default on child objects but can be disabled. So sa mga child objects, pwede po yung permission inheritance and can also be disabled. Okay, may option na pwede siyang disable. Use caution before changing permissions and permission inheritance. So before changing permission, we must be sure before doing it. Okay. Next, managing user accounts. User accounts have two main functions in AD. Provide a method for user authentication to the network. So, validation to ng user. Okay. Provide detailed information about the user. Okay, we can give description. Windows machines are part of the domain store accounts in the Security Accounts Manager database on the local computer. User accounts created in AD are referred to as domain user accounts. So, yung user accounts na ginawa sa AD, we can call them as domain user accounts. Okay. These accounts can really log on to any computer that's in the AD forest. Ayan. So, next step po tayo. The following guidelines apply to the built-in administrator account. Local administrator account has full access to all aspects of a computer, while dominant administrator account has full access to all aspects of the domain. So we have these two. Local admin account has full access to all aspects of a computer. And so that's local admin account. And then we have yung domain administrator account. Okay, siya naman po has full access to all aspects of the domain. So, itong local admin account sa computer, yung domain admin account is for the domain, all aspect of the domain. The domain administrator account in the forest root domain has full access to the aspects of the forest. Yung domain naman, domain admin account, still, both sa all aspects of the domain, meron din siyang aspect sa forest. Okay. Default admin account should be renamed and given a strong password. So, yung default admin account, okay, this one, should be renamed, ano? Okay, at mas maganda yung password dapat. Admin account should only be used while performing admin or administrative operation. So, we must use admin account if we are going to use or perform administrative operations. And administrator account can be renamed or disabled but not deleted. So, we cannot delete admin account here. Okay? Pwede siyang rename, pwede siyang disabled, but we cannot delete it. Okay? Next. The following guidance apply to the built-in guest account. Okay, we have the guest account. Guest account is disabled by default after install and must be enabled before it can be used for logon. So, wala tayong makikitang guest account. Meron ng admin account. So, in order to activate yung guest account, we must enable it. Okay? Yun lang. We must enable it before it can be used for logging in yung guest account. Guest account can have a blank password. So, sa admin account, hindi pwede. Kailangan strong password. Guest account, pwedeng blank password lang. Enter lang. Should be renamed if it needs to be used. So, dapat yung guest account kailangan ma-rename kung ito ay gagamitin ng isang user. Guest account has limited access to a computer or domain but does not have access to any resource for which the everyone group has permission. So, si admin account may everyone group, samantala si guest wala. Si guest account meron siya limited access sa computer domain. Tapos, wala siyang access to any resource na under ng everyone group permission. So, meron tayong everyone group permission. Going back to the permission, both sa everyone group permission, we have tatlo na yung ating permission. We have yung deny permission, deny permission, allow permission, and pag sa group, yun yung sa users, allow saka deny. Tapos sa group, we have yung everyone. Ito, everyone group permission. So, tatlo na yung nakikita natin na permissions. Next. Managing user accounts. When creating a user account in an AD domain, keep the following considerations in mind. User accounts must be unique throughout the domain. Okay. So, unique siya. Walang duplicate, walang double. Account names aren't case sensitive. So, ibig sabihin, yung cat na kunyari, account name, let us say this is budgeting. Yan. Or budget na lang na account name. Yung budget is capital B, U, D, G, E, T. It's also the same with small letters na budget, no? Yan. Hindi siya maigpit sa sa capitalization. Yan. Pare-pares niya lang yan na bilang budget. Yan. Or pwede ring type natin na pangalan niya or account name, capital letters lahat. Okay, or mix. Yan. Pare-pares lang siya na budget. Okay. Going back. So, speaking of account names, they are, again, aren't, hindi na case sensitive. Okay. Kasi pagka case sensitive, yung magkakaibang capitalization, magkakaibang account name niya, ano, for different user. Pero dahil account names are not case sensitive, so kahit anong capitalization, i-treat siya na bilang isang account name. Okay? And can be from 1 to 20 characters. So 1 to 20 characters lang. Pero hanggat maaari, kailangan descriptive yung ating account name, ano? Depende sa purpose natin. Can use letters, numbers, and special characters with some exemptions. So, pwede combination ng alphanumeric and symbolic characters. Develop a standard naming convention. Okay. So, by default, complex passwords are required and passwords are case sensitive. So, sa password, kailangan medyo mahirap para hindi madaling ma-access yung ating account. At case sensitive ang password. Kung capital yon, capital yun. Kung small yon, na letter, small dapat na letter yun. Hindi sila parehas na capitalization. By default, only a log-on name is required to create a user account. So, log-on name lang ang kailangan. Next, when you use ADUC to add users, you must enter a value for the following attributes. So, ano yung dapat nating i-fill up, ano? Una, yung full name. Second, yung user logon name. For example, ako, full name, Austin De La Cruz. User logon name, perhaps we have Austin It's. Pwede yan. User logon name, pre-Windows 2000. Pwedeng iba. Mas maganda iba, no? For example, Austin. Password and confirm password. Yung ginagawa ko rito, I put my name, Austin De La Cruz, full name, muna spaces, muna letters lang, and then kung kailan ako yung anak, 08/20, tas yung taon. Yan. Para medyo mahaba-haba. Anyway, 4 checkboxes are as follows. So, user must change password at next logon. So, dapat naka-check. User cannot change password. Naka-check. Password never expires. And account is disabled. So, lahat yan dapat are checked. Okay. Next. Ito yung dialog box. Okay. Here's our password. Type na password yan. At ito yung apat. User must change password. User cannot change password. It never expires. Account is disabled. So, checkin natin lahat yan. Tapos, click next. Next. Disabling user accounts. A user has left the company and kumatin disable. Wala na user, nag-resign na, nag-retire na, okay, or nag-awol. Dapat ma-disable kanyang account. The account is not ready to use. Kumaga, hindi pa naman gagamitin. Pwedeng disable muna. A user goes on extended leave. So, bakasyon, suspended siya. Yeah, pwedeng i-disable muna yung account. Next, using user templates. What is a user template? So, user template is a user account that's copied to create users with common attributes. So, pag natasa yung isang user account, pwede natin i-copy yung yung user na yon. So, the same attributes, yung kanina, yung name, blah blah blah. Pero, ibang username. Iba yung, yung account name. So, kanina, we have created yung Austinits. So, pag kinapi natin, may iba lang doon yung username, So, hindi na Austinits kasi magiging duplicate, Yan. Pwede Austin. Pero, the rest, the same information. Okay, tips for creating user templates. Create one template account for each department or organizational unit. So, one department, let us say, katulad sinabi ko, distribution accounting, Ayan, pwede natin siyang gawan ng template, organizational unit template. Disable the template account to eliminate security risk. So, disable muna natin bago natin i-copy. Add an underscore or other special character to the beginning of a template account's name to make it easy to recognize. So, maglagay tayo ng underscore. Kunyari, Austinits underscore, let us say 2. Kasi copy lang naman. Fill in as many common attributes as you can so that After the account is created, less customizing is necessary. So, yun. So, hanggat maaari, kung yung information, yun na yun. Para less na yung pag-i-edit natin. Ano? Username na lang. Okay, next. Selecting multiple users using Control plus Shift or Shift or click or Shift. Click allows them to all to be edited simultaneously. Okay. So, parang sa Visual Basic, we press Control and then we select all the objects that we are going to edit, especially objects that are the same, okay, the same type. And then, kung may babaguhin ka lang, let us say, edit lang natin yung color. So, lahat sila, isang kulay lang. So, in our example, sa organizational unit, if we're going to change yung, for example, ito, let's go back. Let us say we're going to change yung attributes. Let me look at the attributes. Okay, nawala na yung attributes dito. Eto. Let us say we're going to change yung ito sa checkboxes. Check natin account is disabled. So lahat sila is disabled. Mawawalan ng this ability. Magiging enabled yung account. Sabay-sabay, no? So hindi na natin isa-isa yung checkan. Or para silang account is disabled, walang check. Tapos password never expires, walang check. So, sabay-sabay lahat ng objects na yun na ma-uncheck. No? So, para hindi na isa-isa yun i-uncheck. Okay? Kaya kino-control natin plus yung click ng mouse. Okay. Next, we are now here. Following actions can be performed. Ito na pala, no? Pagka nag-control plus shift click tayo, add to a group, we can add a group, disable account, and example pa ako, ito na pala, enable account, move, send mail, cut, delete properties. Okay, sa inyo yung pwede natin baguhin na sabay-sabay sila. Okay, next, common actions that might be necessary. Reset the password. The overview window has reset password checkbox. Okay, ito yung sa account properties, rename an account. Okay. Right-click the account and click rename in the ADUC. So, right-clicking and then renaming. Possible yun na doon. Next, move an account. Aside from renaming an account, we can move an account to another directory. Accounts or AD objects can be moved with one of the following methods. So, we can right-click the user and click move, or right-click the user and then click cut, and then fix this folder. And then in ADUC, drag the user from one container to another. Okay, so pwede rin drag and drop. The general tab contains descriptive information about account but does not affect the user's account logon, group memberships, rights or permission. Fields worth mentioning are display name. So, ano ba yung lalagay natin? Display name. Same as the CN when the account is first created. What's our email? Can be used to send an email to the user using the default mail application. Web page can contain a URL and allows you to open the specified URL by right-clicking the user account. And the account tab. Okay, we have the account tab. Contains the information that most affects a user's log on to the domain. User log on name, log on hours, log on to, unlock accounts, account options, account expires. Account options, we have store password using reversible encryption. Smart card is required to interactive logon. An account is sensitive and cannot be delegated. Ayan. So, we have ito yung logon hours for salesperson 1. So, this is the example. Setting the logon hours. Then, we have profile tab. So, yung profile tab onwards is our next topic, for our next video discussion. But for now, we have the account tab, general tab, understanding account properties, modifying when for users, using user templates, disabling user accounts, managing user accounts, and then we have effective permissions, and then that's it. Okay, I hope may naintindihan natin yung topic. So, organizational units is used or has a benefits for creating a user or a group, and for the computer, a user group, a computer may permissions. Okay, may maraming permissions like yung allow permissions and deny permissions at iba pa. Okay, so we will just continue with our topic on the next video. Thank you.